There seems to be a lot happening in the cryptocurrency world, and majority of them, or 99.9% of them, are positive news for the entire crypto industry. And that's why investors are betting huge into this market. They're embracing their money into this market. And when you look at XRP, it wicked at the support area on a daily chart when the MACD is about to cross to the upside and the RSI is hinting about a Adam and Eve pattern. So to get a clearer picture, you can zoom in and look at a 4-hour chart and you are able to see this. The price is making divergence with the RSI on a 4-hour chart. And that's an indicator that the bulls are entering into the market. But when? The question of when is being asked many times. We've been told about September, October, and as the time goes, now it's November. So when will we actually see those bulls in action? What should you look at? Let's look at all of those and what we can see from the fundamental and technical analysis in this video. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. If you saw value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. And if you would like to extend your support, you can use the Patreon, PayPal and the XRP wallet address in the description below. Now, looking at the news, we just saw that, India is going to ban cryptocurrency in one article, and Murad Garlinghouse directly responding to that in Twitter. But now when we look at the actual report and go through some of the updates from India itself, we kind of get this information. Now, this is from Dr. Swami, which is a member of the ruling party and a member of Rajya Sabha there back in India. So he is highlighting that he has not heard anything about a crypto ban bill being introduced. And he himself states, it will be madness if they do so. And he is a member of the ruling party and one of guys with voice there in that party. He's a highly educated individual and an economist in that party, considering others, those who are not that well educated but still handling huge positions. Anyway, but that is an idea which he is highlighting. If they do, it's madness. Now, why is that? Because we can see that world is embracing crypto. World is entering into cryptocurrency world. It's kind of merging now. The traditional financial industry is coming into this one. Morgan Stanley veteran calls XRP clear leader in cross-border space. So when we look at these updates, the traditional investors are on track to enter into this space. That kind of gives us a change of wind. Now the direction of that wind is clear. From previous Bank of International Settlement document, we understood where we are really headed. But the real importance of this is to be highlighted. Say CoinDesk says the Bank of International Settlements, the international body nicknamed central bank for central banks. So that is what it really is. It kind of, acts in such a way and execute those research in blockchain DLT now based on the shift in the market trend. And as they go through their research and they put out their finding in their reports, research data, publication and all, central banks would be looking at that with quite a huge importance. And we already understood how they are looking at Ripple and XRP, and that's a huge change. And then at the same time, we are able to see this one. Kraken gets a license to be acting like a bank, similar to that of bank, in which it can take from paying bills, receiving salaries in cryptocurrencies, incorporating digital assets into investment trading portfolios and other stuff like that. And this is all happening when the banks are actually pushing the interest rates down, so it's actually going below sub-zero. And if that's really happening, who will actually keep their money in the market, meaning money in the banks? Because they would put that money into somewhere where the money would work for them. It should be working for you. Otherwise, sitting in a savings bank account, that doesn't make any sense. Cryptocurrency and blockchain companies can breathe huge. Why? Because recently we got the information from Conference of State Bank Supervisors, which is CSBS, highlighting with one regulatory regime, meaning one test. If you're passing that, you can operate in almost every state, and that is giving a bit more clarity, right? So we are not just looking at cryptocurrency companies, we are looking at almost any mainstream financial players who are there for payments. Now payments industry is being scrutinized by the regulators, and I'll say that's one of the advantages of Ripple, the company pushing this narrative of new type of payments ahead. Now listening to this video, we kind of get a bit more clarity. Now this was back in 2017, and as XRP Yo-Yo highlights, now this is 2020, and in that video they are talking about what's going to happen in 2020. To say 2020, we are already mid-September, so what's left? Some months. And what are we actually looking at? We'll just listen to this now.
Faster, ubiquitous, broadly inclusive, safe, and efficient payment system in the U.S. by 2020. Did I say 2020? Only 3 years from now? I sure did, echoing the 320 payments industry stakeholders that served on the task force. These members represent an unprecedented mix of financial institutions, businesses, consumer advocacy groups, government agencies, fintech firms, and many, many others. In the report, the task force lays out an ambitious near-term vision for the U.S. payment system, as well as outlining 10 recommendations for specific activities to support the goal. The goal is a shiny new payment system that will deliver broad benefits to American consumers and businesses by delivering real-time, data-rich payments. The report also includes a treasure trove of ideas for implementing faster payment capabilities. In the report, you'll find expert assessments of 16 end-to-end faster payment solution proposals. Rich dialogue between task force members and solution providers was key to enhancing these proposals. By design, the task force did not pick a winner or a best solution. We're going to leave that for the marketplace to decide.
And that's what really is important, because they are not picking a winner from there. Instead, they would allow this to be in the market, and then the market decide which one is the best. So based on the current specification of RippleNet, you can understand what's going to happen. Now, yes, when you talk about a payment system which is domestic as of now without the CBDC tokenized era, it cannot be RippleNet. Now it can be, but the chances are rare for that. Now that is being said for a domestic payments market. Now even in that domestic payment market, if they are looking at the back-end settlement process, even for securities trading and other settlement process for each transaction, this would be beneficial if they have that. Now what is in the limelight? As he highlighted in the video, it's real-time payments. Now when they say real-time payments, it's not only the payment messaging, but along with the payment settlements together has to happen there. Now when they talk about all these stuff, they would be actually looking at the tokenized era, which is with the central bank digital currencies. And we saw previously about Tezos being used to issue central bank digital currency, and there is odds for that. And we already know that Ethereum network is being used, and they are highlighting its limitation. But as Vitalik highlighted, they would be moving into POS this year, and that's also just months ahead. When all of these things are happening, we are looking at an area where it should be going into sky high. But why we actually say that? This is looking at the entire design and change of this market, right? So when we look at the entire thing, previously we talked about one thing too. The government is looking at the change in monetary policy, introducing new financial system, and about universal basic income. Now, yeah, there can be critiques about this, but this news from the Daily Hodl highlights eToro launches Good Dollar and begins delivering universal basic income. So, it kind of highlights that what we were discussing previously, was not actually something just throwing out of a piece of a cake. It's has some information in that which should be valuable. And here in this article, it kind of highlights, can crypto become a blessing in disguise for institutional investors? Now why do we say that? For institutions, if they are holding cash, looking at opportunities in the market, that's okay. But if they have huge amount of cash in banks, that's going to be a burden for them from here. If the interest rate turns negative, they should be paying them along with, they already have, say if you are looking at the Nostro, Vostro and other stuff all around the world, and the tied up capital of different financial institutions, for example, say Google, Microsoft, Facebook, to pay their employees if they are keeping fiat in different countries, different banks. Now it's negative interest rate. If that's picking up, they would be having additional cost to maintain that. So why would they actually do that if they can source that liquidity instantly and settle that payment instantaneously? So obviously they won't be actually going into that manner, and that is where the crypto will be becoming a blessing for the traditional investors and those who are looking at this market. Now, when we all say that and talk about the new rule which is highlighting just one exam, one single set of rule, and every area in the US they can actually operate. This is actually the detail for that. So CSBS, a coordinated body of state regulators, confirmed to Reuters that the new regime for money service businesses will be introduced in the same rules and standards across 48 states. Now, we already understand that Wyoming is being a leader in this space and they are trying to improve their financial situation as well, because if they are getting more investors, institutions coming into play in this market, then automatically they are going to get more traction from similar blockchain and DLT businesses, right? So in the same way, it's going to happen. And if that's going to happen, now they are leading. Automatically, other states would be competing with them. Next point. This will streamline compliance, making it easy for state-licensed money transmitters like Coinbase to work across multiple states, instead of going through the time and expense of getting regulated in each and every one. Now, that's actually a good thing for any company, let it be Coinbase, let it be Ripple, let it be any other non-bank financial institution. Now, they are happy to get into this one, right? So that's much more credible when we look at that aspect of that. Now, when we also say that, we should also be understanding that Kraken just cracked, right? They got this license, they got this one, they got the approval. So what does that actually mean? It's like a new bank itself, a crypto bank, an exchange turning into bank. Now the custodians, like the custody service providers like Fidelity, Bakkt and others, would be having hard time as we look at this. Because if the exchanges are going to become banks, you have accounts in banks, you have accounts in exchanges, you can transfer your bank account money or whatever you have into an exchange, into whatever currency you want, let it be XRP, BTC, ETH, or whatever you want, or a wide variety of assets depending upon your interest in your portfolio, right? So based on that capital management and risk tolerance level, you would be diversifying. If your risk tolerance is too low, then you would be diversifying. That's a different story. But that aspect of banks going into a place where we don't need banks is not actually far away, because if we look at some of the tweets which I've actually retweeted from different areas of financial industry, it kind of gets really interesting. And I was actually looking at this tweet from, now yeah, you can have different opinion about Bill and its words, but the future of money is digital currency. So that is one of the aspect where it really gets interesting. Now when I say interesting, it really is interesting. And at the same time, he also highlighted, there was another tweet from Stidas in which he was highlighting that banking is necessary, but banks are not. And that really got my attention. Yeah, banking is necessary, but banks are not. And now we are seeing new era of banking, the non-bank financial institutions turning into banks, crypto banks, custodians. They can provide services for crypto, and that really is turning the stone here, right? We can actually understand it really is turning the stone here. Now, along with that, this particular tweet, when we look at this, it really gives us an information. Now, thanks and shout out to the Luminous Design there. They highlights that Coinbase new update for 15 November about using e-money and e-wallets. That's your CBDCs. So that's what he highlights. Now, e-money services. Following services, e-money services may be provided to you by Coinbase Payments. a hosted digital wallet, e-money wallet, enabling you to store electronic money issued by central bank payments or CB payments. I hope it's central bank payments they're highlighting, which is denominated in fiat currency. Now, if that CB payments is actually not central bank currencies, do let me know that. Now, certain payment services enabling you to send and receive e-money. Now, that's actually going to highlight in a proper manner. The e-money services are regulated by UK Financial Conduct. Coinbase payment is authorized electronic money institution authorized by FCA. So that kind of takes us to digital currency services and a new mode of the financial system. Now, along with all those, I would also like to jump into the charts and look at these. Say on a 4-hour chart, when you look at the RSI and the price, what you can understand is here in the price we wicked, we made a new low, whereas in the RSI, stochastic RSI, we are moving to the upside, right? We are trending high, so that's a divergence on a 4-hour chart, highlighting the risk and potential that we may go to the upside. Now, if we look at this particular area in the chart, we can see that we actually wicked down. And when we say we wicked down, if you look that in terms of percentage, you can see that 2.72% on a daily basis. That's not a huge fluctuation, but still you can understand that the price went to downside, or the sellers tried to push the price to the downside, but they didn't actually manage to successfully close it at the bottom. Instead, the buyers came in, they pushed the price back up into this trading zone, right? We've been trending in this particular channel and we are moving there. So if we are getting a bounce here, you can look at what happened previously. So the next one should be moving to the upside. Now, unless we break above this particular trend, you should be considering that this may continue. Now, let's say hourly chart, say if we go into 2-hour or 4-hour chart and then consider the trend, you can easily understand that if we are moving inside this, you should be focusing on these levels, the support resistance. We may be traveling like this unless we break above like this or break to the bottom like this. And usually when that happens, if it is going to the upside, it may come back, retest that and give a bounce. So that's kind of the perfect buying opportunity on the retest. Let it be a buying opportunity after breaking that resistance, or a selling opportunity if you do so. Now, when that breaks, and if you are actually looking for a buying opportunity, a position, then you can actually wait for the price to come back to around 0.23. But if we are moving to the upside and breaking to the upside, that won't be the case. Now that's on a shorter time frame, right? When we actually look at the daily, we already understood that we are going green on MACD, the possibility of the next candle making the price go in a positive range here in MACD and get a cross in the MACD is huge. The chances are that we are going to get that soon. And when I say that soon, it's really going to happen soon. Now, that's on a daily. As I highlighted in yesterday's video, now on a daily and on monthly, if you look at MACD, we are going to get that positive cross here in the MACD here. If you look at here, you can see that if we zoom in, I'll actually zoom in so that it's clear for you guys and you can actually understand that we already crossed to the upside in the MACD and the volume is in positive zone. If you can see here, the volume is in positive side now. Yes, it's a little bit, but still we crossed on monthly, and then on a daily we are ready to cross to the upside. Now these are indicators which shows you there is a potential for the price to move to the upside, and that's all happening when we are bouncing off from a critical level, which is long-term resistance trend line, which if you draw, it would be something running like this. That won't be the perfect one. That's in just a rough case to understand. And then on a horizontal level, if you are looking at the same, you would be able to understand that we would be going into that neckline area of this particular trend resistance, right? We were trying this resistance from some time. We were not able to break above that, but we are making a pattern in which you can understand it as a head and shoulder pattern, or it would be a long-term cup and shoulder pattern. If the price is coming back here and breaking this neckline here even a little bit, you should understand it's a cup and handle or head and shoulder being in the play. Now if you take the target, you know that we are going to go around 130 to 150% to the upside, and that really will change the game. Now when we say that, do keep in mind it's not only XRP which is showing these bullish signs all over the charts. If you look at BTC chart, going to different time frames of BTC, as we highlighted in the last day chart, we can actually understand that the chances for BTC going towards 14,000, 24,000, 18,000, it's really close as we get that bounce. Now, we just showed you that there is a possibility for the price bounce in XRP, and we are getting something similar here in BTC. We are coming back, retesting a level and then bouncing off. So that's a symbol in the entire crypto market that money is flowing back in. They are trading this market, taking the profit and all. And then if you want to concentrate just on the altcoins, mostly we would be looking at Ethereum. And if you look at Ethereum, we previously considered this zone as a buying zone as we were breaking to the upside last month, say early August. Now after 1 month, if you are looking at that, we went to the upside a little bit, but it looks really like a distribution phase there or a reaccumulation phase. As we dipped into this support area, price is being supported. Buyers are interested and they are getting in for new buying positions, right? So if you zoom in and look at that particular thing on even a 4-hour chart, what simply you can understand that the price just broke to the upside on a pattern. Say here, if you look at that, draw a box or a line, it's completely up to you. You can see that we created a pattern here in which the price was being fluctuated in that pattern. But when we broke above that, now that area is acting as a support. So that's a clear sign that bulls are in control in shorter time frame. And when you look at the same on a longer time frame, again, you can understand that we are above the accumulation zone and the price is being supported by the bulls. They're pushing the price up whenever it is dipping. That is actually a positive moment for the entire crypto traders and investors, understanding that we have already entered into a new market cycle. And for those guys who have the average, say for Ethereum around 200, 170, 150, 140, they are really lucky guys to get those price levels and to hold the average is there. Now, yes, if you are again buying, your average would go up. So in a similar way, if you look at XRP to see where is the perfect area, it would be around 0.16, 0.17, and I'm trying really hard to keep my average there because sometimes when I look at the price, I'm being tempted to buy in. Now, what I'm usually doing nowadays is when I see those opportunities and I'm going into trade, I'm going for a buy, I do let my Patreon members understand that there is an opportunity like this and I'm going to seize that opportunity in this manner. But that will be just my trading portfolio. There is a huge amount of XRP, which, personally for me, that's actually huge. For majority of you guys, it may not be huge. Anyway, so in that one, I'm not actually touching it. I'm keeping that as it is to, not move anything because my target was like 50,000 XRP, but I didn't manage to reach that critical level, but I'm somewhere near that. So I don't actually want to touch that particular aspect. Instead, what I would be doing is 10% of something similar to what I have in another account which I used to trade, and I'm trading that only because I don't want to mess with my long-term positions. Because as I see this change in the MACD and look at the RSI, how it is trending, this really is, at least for me, looking at the cup and handle or head and shoulder pattern here and the RSI MACD showing these positive signs, I'm really bullish on this asset as of now, and I'm trying my best not to go over invested because being an investor, you should be understanding your risk tolerance, and that's one of the key thing to manage your portfolio. So that's all for today, guys. If you saw value for your time, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.